Afternoon, everyone. This is Otim Jimmy. I'm pursuing Bachelor Nursing top up at Victoria University. So I would like to educate you about personality that I learned in psychology. Uh, so I'm going to take through personality theory. Uh, then we look through and we understand how we can generate it in our daily life and with the patient when we are in hospitals. So personality theories, we refer it as unique and relatively stable patterns of thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and behaviors that distinguish different individual from another. So you find that every individual like me and you, we have different thoughts in the mind, we have different feelings at a different time, we have different attitudes and the behaviors, because I cannot compare my behaviors with yours. They're totally what? Different. Okay? So this personality, it develops through the interaction of biological, psychological, and social and environmental factors. It affects the individual relationship, communication, learning, and overall behavior. Okay? So we are going to look through these personalities one by one, and we get to know each and every one. So one of the theory of personality is psychoanalytic theory, where we're going to look through, and this theory, it has been developed by Sigmund Freud, the person called Sigmund Freud, and is an Austrian neurologist, and he also regarded as a father of psychoanalysis. Okay, and he believed that the human behavior, it is always largely influenced by unconscious force and childhood experiences, the instincts and the internal conflicts. Because me and hmm, you cannot tell me that you are being influenced by any other things apart from what the Sigmund Freud believed in. That is uh, unconscious force, the childhood experiences, the internal conflicts. It always happen in us from childhood, because we have grown up, and at least you know the stages you have gone through, and you know. Okay, so under this theory, you find that Freud, he had that personality is not fully formed at birth, but developed gradually as an individual passes through what the different stages of psychosexual development. So, uh, the theory believe in psychosexual what? Development in and every individual. So let's look at, or let's look through psychosexual development, and we experience more that happens under this theory. So you find that under this theory, we have mind that is always divided. The mind is divided into three. That is head, the ego, and the superego. Where the head is the most primitive and instinct part of what? The personality, and is present from birth and contains all the biological drives and desires. Like for example, hunger, we have thirst, okay, aggression, and sexual urges. Like for example, I give you example, like when a baby cries, the baby feel hungry and cries immediately, and the baby wants food, and you understand that in it the baby doesn't understand waiting, cannot wait for food, they cannot wait for time. So that is uh, heed. And the ego, it is developed as a child interacts with the reality, okay, and learns the desire, okay, and always be satisfied cannot be satisfied immediately. For example, I give an example like a student feels hungry, maybe in class, maybe me, I'm in a lecture, I feel hungry, so I can at least wait until the time comes for food. Then I go and eat and get satisfied. So in this stage, it waits. We also have the superego, and it's a moral component of personality. So this was developed through interaction with the parents, the teachers, the society, the religion, everyone. So as this one develops, you keep on interacting with everyone in the community. Okay? Depends on where you are located, whether at school, whether where. So in this, remember in this theory, it is also always influenced by what? The conscious, unconscious mind, and unconscious forces. Okay? So that is about psychoanalytic theory. Okay? So let's look at psychosexual stages under the analytic theory. So we have, under the stages, we have 5 stages. I'm going to simply explain how these stages go through. Like, for example, number 1 is oral stage, where it begins from birth to 18 months, around there. And it is pleasure centered. The pleasure is centered on the mouth, like sort of sucking, biting fingers, feeding. Okay, when you see someone biting fingers like this, okay, this is the stage. I know many of you have experience, and people, you and me, at least have done it in life. So it means you are going through this stage. Okay, so like in an adult, you have fixation, like oral fixation. Those one who eat excessively too much, those one who are smoking, those who are biting their nails. Okay, so that means you are experiencing this stage even if you are adult. So stage 2, we have anal stage. This one is, the pleasure is focused on what? Bowel and bladder, like toilet training. Okay, something of that. We have phallic stage. So in this stage, 0 to 6 years, the child becomes aware of the gender differences. Okay, when I talk of that, the gender differences, the male and the female, yeah, they have the latency stage, 6 to puberty, sexual interest, the sexual interest become dormant at this stage, where the child focuses on school, friends, social skills, all that. We have genital stage, from puberty to adult. So sexual maturity develops, and individuals form an healthy adult relationship. That's where now we belong, when someone is in a relationship. Yeah, this is a stage, genital stage. Okay, yeah. So we are going to look at how can we this applied in our nursing, maybe in the word. Like, for example, a patient who appears hungry after receiving a diagnosis may actually be experiencing fear or anxiety. But for us, like me and you, who has understood this theory, we understand the unconscious forces or unconscious emotional process. It helps us to identify and respond to this patient appropriately and in time, that yeah, this patient needs to eat, is hungry. Okay, so that is it. So let's look at another theory under personality, that's our psychoanalytic. We have behavioral theory, which is developed by the John B. Watson and B.F. Skinner. So for them, the hedge is that personality is not inherited and but learned through interaction with the environment. Okay, you will learn through interacting with the environment. When they say environment, means friends, everything around the environment. Okay. So in this theory, that's what they believe. And okay, so like I mean, like I bring in the hospital, like maybe we are working in the hospital. For me, I always give like a example in a patient, like maybe a diabetic patient, hmm, can even receive some praise and encouragement for maintaining their diet what habits that have been taught. So in this theory, it helps us nurses. Hmm? We encourage them the medication adherence to them. It helps us to promote healthy lifestyle to the patient. It also helps the patient to stop smoking, that lifestyle of okay, and we can also improve this treatment compliance. We can also manage behavioral disorders in this matter through interacting with them. Remember, we are interacting with them. Okay, so let's look through another theory, that is social learning, and this might be our last. This one is developed by Albert Bandura, social learning theory. And for him, he believed that personality develops through observing, imitation, and interaction with what? Environment. Hmm? For him, he heard that people do not learn only through direct experience. They can also learn by watching others. You watch, hmm? Just watching, and you learn. Like for example, I give example like a student being posted for hospital practice. Like in the ward, a student can watch what a senior nurse is doing, like maybe cannulating, maybe doing wound dressing, maybe something of those kinds, those procedures, and the student learns by watching. And also, like for example, a patient, there's some patient they can learn. Maybe when you are dressing their wound, they can keep learning, and at the end they can what? They can do all those things. At the end they can do it because they believe that what I have seen, it is from a professional what? Professional personnel. So in this theory, it teaches about human behavior, human thoughts, knowing the patient in the word, knowing someone into depth. You know when you are interacting with them, you know when you're watching them, you know when you're studying their minds, their thought, their behavior. Okay, so in this theory, I believe when we learn it more and more and we keep rehearsing, we can learn more and more, and we develop it and we use it in our daily life, and wherever we can identify a person, and we know what to do next to the person, and we identify that this person maybe needs this, maybe this is a person who is angry but is fear to ask. But you can identify that this person is already hungry, but he cannot ask. So what they should do, let me get for him something to eat. Okay, you can also help like some nurses, let's say the junior nurses, to learn more skills when you're in the hospital. At least help them, and they also learn what skills that you have, because for them, by watching, by interacting with you, you can tell them that this and this is done like this, and for them they can learn through that. So I believe that all these personalities together, this will help psychologists, and it will help us also educators, and also like as health workers. We shall understand people, how they think, why they think, why people think, and how they behave different. I thank you so much. God bless you, and we meet again next time. Bye.